Oh, Celtic are falling apart again. Bring back Lenny. It's 2020 all over again. Ange Postecoglou's left them. The Japanese boys will be leaving them. And Jota is leaving as he has agreed a transfer to go to the Saudi League. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And it's all going down the drain for Celtic. It's all going to shit, as they say. They've now lost out on Jota. He has agreed terms according to multiple outlets. More importantly, outlets in Saudi Arabia claiming the deal is done, the deal is agreed, and there's only a couple of minor things for Jota and the club to agree on before the contract gets signed. So it looks like this deal is all but done. It is pretty much official, minus basically a signature from Jota. Once they get a couple of minor agreements sorted, then he will be on his way. But it's not all bad news for Celtic, because a lot of places are reporting 20 plus million for Jota. Daily Record have gave the figure 25 million. They said that Celtic will be getting 25 million for him. That's what the Saudi clubs are willing to pay. And if, let's be real, if Celtic want to get big money for their players, then they're probably better off selling to clubs in the Saudi League rather than selling to the English Premiership. Because I think the English Premiership will always look to underpay Celtic and all the other clubs in Scotland for their best players, whereas the Saudis, I don't really think they give a shit. I don't think they're going to discriminate. I don't think they're going to look at it and go, oh, Scottish League, we don't have to pay them top money. I think the Saudis just want to throw whatever money they need at a player in order to get him over the line. So who knows? Maybe they could even get more than 25 million for him. I think they could probably do that. You're looking at Kyogo. Could probably get 25 million for him if you sell him to the Saudi League, because the Saudis are willing to pay it. But yeah, so we know that Jota did join Celtic on loan. He did a really good first season. Celtic then made it official. They brought him back for around £7 million. And it looks like just after 1 year of being at the club officially on a permanent deal, he has decided to leave. But it's not going to be all good news for Celtic. They are not going to get the full amount to themselves, even if it is 25 million, because Benfica did agree a 30% sell-on clause, which is a hell of a lot. 30% is an incredible amount. Sometimes clubs, if they're going to go for a higher percentage, it's sometimes a higher percentage of profit fee, but this is 30% sell-on fee. So it's just 30% in general, 30% total. So whatever Celtic manage to get for Jota, they will have to give 30% of that to Benfica, which at the moment is going to be a hell of a lot of money. I mean, if he does sell for if he sells for 25 million, Benfica would be getting what, 7.5 million. So Benfica would be getting more money on the sell-on fee than they actually got for him when Celtic bought him. That's crazy. That is crazy if that £25 million is reported to be true. But I think 25 million might be a little bit on the steep side, but considering it is a Saudi club, I do believe 25 million is a very realistic possibility. Now, if it was a team in the Premiership, I'd expect it to be a bit less. But like I said, with the Saudis, with their ability to spend money, with their unlimited pockets, they can pretty much do whatever they want. So I would agree with that. Now, the club that he has agreed terms with is AL-ITTIHAD. I believe that is also the team that signed Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante. I don't want to 100% say it is, but I think that's the club that those guys went to. And it's strange because AL-ITTIHAD are 75% shareholders in the Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, who also own an 80% stake in the Premier League side Newcastle. And the PIF, the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, have actually taken majority ownership over 4 of the leading clubs in Saudi Arabia. And to me, that's madness. How can somebody own multiple clubs in the same league? That just does not seem right. That seems... It does seem corrupt. It's just, could you imagine if you owned like multiple clubs in a league and one of your clubs is going for the title? Who's to say you can't make your other clubs lie down? Who's to say you can't make your other clubs try harder against one of your club's title opponents or whatever? I don't think you should be able to own multiple clubs in the same league. For me, it's It's damn near cheating. It is. I think it is corrupt, especially. It's not just matches, not just results, but when it comes to loaning players, buying players. I mean, who knows what you could be doing? And the fact that they've got the link to Newcastle as well, it does seem corrupt. Especially, you see these Saudi clubs, they're buying players from Premiership sides, and there's rumours of these players going to Newcastle. If they're buying players, like, let's say Ruben Neves, for example, if Ruben Neves ends up going to loan on Newcastle, then that is damn near criminal, man. That is corruption, and somebody needs to do something about that. I'm not going to say the Saudis are ruining football, because they're not the first country or whatever to spend and to put a lot of money into football. England sort of done it first. England have sort of took over in the number one nation in football because of their ability to spend. I mean, English clubs were never really considered to be the best clubs in the world. Best league from my time was like Italy, then it moved to be in Spain. But England now, with the money they've got, they've just they've put themselves above all the other clubs, at least financially. So now England aren't really happy. You see a lot of English media, a lot of English fans are complaining about the Saudis. But to me, the Saudis are just doing what England have done in the past. But the only difference is English owners weren't allowed to own multiple clubs in the same league. I think that is wrong. I don't agree with that whatsoever. But anyway, back to the matter in hand here. Jota looks like he will be leaving. And if he does leave, then that is a massive hole for Celtic to fill. No doubt about it. Jota is a great player for Celtic. Now, I don't think he's considered a key player, maybe because of the position he plays. I think when you think of key players, you're always thinking of down the middle of the park. For me, the Celtic key players, you'd probably have to say, are Kyogo, McGregor, /Hatate and Carter Vickers, because they're the spine of your team. But there's no doubt that Jota is a fantastic player, and on his day you could argue he's a player with the most ability. I think you could say that. In terms of technical ability, he is probably the most special player out of the Celtic team. If you're going to expect somebody to do something, if you're going to expect someone to show world-class moments, I think you're more likely to get that out of Jota than anyone else. He's certainly a game changer. And I think he is someone that Celtic would have been looking to up his game and perform better in this season's Champions League. And now, unless something drastic happens, they're not going to have him. And how does Brendan Rodgers go about replacing Jota? Because for me, Jota is going to cost more than £7 million to replace. You're not going to get another Jota for £7 million, especially now that clubs will know that Celtic are a little bit desperate. They know that Brendan Rodgers has got this big war chest. I think anybody that Rodgers tries to get to replace Jota is going to be overpriced, and I just cannot see Rodgers bringing in a player of Jota's ability and calibre for anywhere near £7 million. But I mean, who knows? Jota might pull out, the move might not happen, but for right now it's looking like it's going to be official. Can I blame Jota? Personally, I do think it's a bit poor moving to the Saudi League. It's choosing money over your football career, and I'm not saying that money isn't important, but I can almost accept players when they're coming towards the end of their career, like a Benzema. You know, he's done everything. He's won La Liga. He's won multiple Champions Leagues. If he wants to go to the Saudi League instead of maybe trying somewhere else in Europe, then I can almost accept that. But these players like a Ruben Neves, like a Jota, players that are coming into their prime years to go to the Saudi League, in my opinion, is poor. It is very, very poor. So I can't say I agree with it, but money talks, guys, and a lot of times, yeah, if there's money on offer, then people will go to it. That's the unfortunate way of life. But yeah, it looks like Jota's gone, and that's it. Keep you updated if anything else happens, but I would say that Jota will probably be official maybe by tomorrow. Maybe, yeah, tomorrow probably, or tonight, who knows. I don't know what time is it even in Saudi Arabia. It could be announced later on tonight, who knows. But yeah, it's going to be a big, big blow for Celtic. And can they replace him? Honestly, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I don't think Rodgers would have wanted this coming into the club and then getting hit with the news that, guess what, Jota's gone. And by the way, you know, all those Japanese guys in the team, they could be gone too. It's not what Jota would have wanted. He would have wanted to come in. I think he would have looked at the team and thought, I have a really, really good team here. I am going to just want to maybe add a few quality players and build on this team. But now we're looking at it, and we could see a world where Rodgers loses Jota, then he loses Kyogo, maybe loses Hatate, and all of a sudden, this Celtic team that we've seen dominate football in Scotland for the past 2 years is losing some of its key players, especially in attacking positions. So, yeah, going to be a big summer ahead for Brendan Rodgers. And I did say this, it's all right saying he's got 35 million, but I think the key this summer for Rodgers would have been keeping this Celtic team intact. Sometimes the worry is your goal isn't strengthening the team, it's making sure the team doesn't get weaker. And I think that's what Brendan Rodgers has to do this season. I think he has to, rather than focus on bringing players in, I think he should be focusing on trying to keep as many players as he can at the club. And it doesn't look like he's been able to do that with Jota. Anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your opinions down below. And I'll keep you updated if anything else happens on Jota. But for right now, it looks like he is leaving Celtic. And of course, they are falling apart. Catch you in the next one. Peace.